Want to see the real vehicle choices of real preppers? Not my faceless top list, not something pulled from a PDF or a prepper guide. These are dozens of live comments under one video on this channel. People naming the vehicles they'd trust when everything else stops. If you commented, you might recognize your pick. If not, parts 2 and 3 are coming. We start with EMP-proof rigs. One pattern showed up immediately in the comments. Not a brand, not a model, a mechanical Cummins. 4BT or 6BT, didn't matter. People talked about 4BT swag trucks being 100% mechanical, fuel efficient, cruising around 65 miles per hour stock, and pushed to around 180 horsepower without becoming fragile. Manual transmission, 4-wheel drive. And the detail that mattered most, push started even with a dead battery. Nobody cared what badge was on the hood. They cared about what still turns when electronics don't. Then you see the same idea taken all the way. Dodge W250, 12-valve Cummins, 5-speed manual, 4-wheel drive. One commenter wasn't theorizing. They're literally deciding between long bed and short bed. That's not a fantasy rig. That's someone building something they expect to live with. Ford came up a lot, but with very specific lines drawn. People pointed out that pre-1980 and especially pre-76, you avoid electronic ignition entirely. Fewer systems, fewer failure points, easier to work on when nothing is calm.
Let's pause for a reality check. Most of the machines you're seeing here, you're not finding them parked outside a city apartment, military trucks, old diesel workhorses. These aren't daily drivers for people whose wildest adventure was a weekend picnic or a school camping trip. And that's the point. For most civilians, survival isn't about one perfect vehicle. It's about stages. One rig to get you out of the city, and another, older, uglier, tougher, to keep moving after the first escape. These machines aren't city solutions. They're what comes next, when you're already outside, looking for shelter, fuel, or a community that still functions. If you're waiting for the perfect all-in-one vehicle, you're already behind. Many commentators drew a hard line at 1994. After that, electronics creep in fast. But the older IDI diesels, mechanically injected, less power, sure, but far more forgiving when things go sideways. So IDI wasn't nostalgia, it was a risk calculation. One comment summed this up perfectly. An 84 Chevy K20 with electronic ignition and a points distributor ready to swap in. That's not paranoia.
That's planning. Modern part fails, drop back to analog and keep moving. Military rigs like M35A1 and M35A2 triggered debate, but not because they're weak. People talked about multi-fuel capability, stream fording, long range if driven slowly, and how these trucks are easy to work on because they're old. Loud? Yes. Thirsty? Yes. But when simplicity is the priority, they keep showing up in the comments for a reason. In real collapses, fuel becomes more valuable than vehicles. MPG only matters if fuel still exists. Range matters more than speed. Options matter more than spec sheets. That's why you keep seeing diesels, manuals, and multi-fuel systems, not because they're perfect, but because they give you choices, which is why some people in the comments stopped naming vehicles and started talking about engines. One commenter didn't name a finished rig at all. They discussed the Detroit Diesel 453T as a concept.
The belief was simple: when everything modern quits, old industrial diesels will still be running. Not pretty, not quiet, but alive. And then there was the outlier, a rail buggy with a Kubota D850 diesel. Almost no electronics, extremely low fuel consumption, modded just enough to carry essentials. This zero-compromise rig is not for everyone. It shows how far people are willing to go to escape digital dependency. And none of this matters if you never make it out in the first place. By the way, part 2 drops in a couple of days. People's choices for a quick escape from gridlock. This series isn't about the end of the world. It's about getting through the first phases. Drop a comment. Did I miss your rig? Or do you disagree with someone here? Let's keep building this garage.